Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Kat about Raid Shadow Legends. Today we are talking about my top 10 favorite champions that are currently in my roster at this moment, in this day, the year of our Lord 2025. This is a video that I made. It was one of the first videos I made on my channel, and I figured since we're several months into my channel, I figured we'd do an update. My account has gotten a lot of new champions, a lot of great champions since then, and so we're going to keep to the same format as the previous video. There will be some champions that I like purely for aesthetic, for my own goofy, weird reasons, and then there will also be champions that I like for the things that they can do in various game modes. So that's what you're going to see today. Before we get into that, why aren't you playing Raid Shadow Legends? I know I've been asking. You know I've been asking. The QR code's been sitting here. The link's been in the description. What more do I need to do to get you to play Raid Shadow Legends? Do you need a legendary? Do you need Corrado Foxhunter? As soon as you get through the tutorial, I'll give that to you. I want you to have him. He's so good. Do you want Yugo at level 15? I will give her to you. You are worth it. Just play. I don't know what more I have to tell you in order to get you to play Raid Shadow Legends. It's really honestly one of the most fun games I've played in a long time. Definitely by far the most fun mobile game I've ever played. And even though when I first started playing it, I was a little overwhelmed by everything that was happening, I realized that there are so many things to do. There's so many fun things. There's so many fun game modes. There's so many characters. There's so many cool characters. And there's so many ways to upgrade and so many different resources and currencies and types of energy. Like, I could do everything all day and it would be very difficult for me to run out of time. So I'm just saying, you know that I've been asking. Just do it. And right now is a great time to start because it is the 6th anniversary of Raid Shadow Legends. We have a massive fusion event going on, and it might be a little late to start in that, but there are still free items, there's still promo codes, there's still a bunch of other cool things that are happening, so it's worth jumping in and getting in with some of these champions. For example, when you start your account, and I'm saying when because I know you're listening, Becky, in the first 24 hours of starting your account, Becky, you have the choice of using the promo codes Monkey King or Supreme 6. Monkey King is going to get you Sun Wukong, one of my favorite champions that may appear on this list. Or you can use Supreme 6 to get Supreme Gallic, another legendary. So you have the choice of two fantastic legendaries. Both are going to help you tremendously throughout your account. And right now, until March 26th, so we have a week. There's only a week left to get Alice, another free legendary. This game doesn't screw around. We have so many free legendaries. It's ridiculous. So jump on that. Do something nice for yourself, Steve. Let's go. Now we're going to talk about my favorite champions. So this is in no particular order. I'm literally I made a list. These are the champions I like. That's what we're doing. No big crazy format or anything. You know I'm not that professional. Just professional enough. Okay. So first off, Sun Wukong. Now, I got him through the promo code in the first 24 hours. And I tell people, if you didn't get either him or even Supreme Gallic in the first 24 hours, if you didn't take advantage of that, oh my God, restart your account. Use my QR code to do so. But Sun Wukong, I use him in all game modes. I particularly like him for farming because we know the fusion event is going on right now. And I have a lot of rare and epic champions that I need to be leveling up this whole time. That means I want to have as many slots open for farming as possible. Sun Wukong barrels through the whole stage by himself, and he can manage all of the enemies by himself, which means you can have 3 other champions who don't need to do any damage, who don't need to do anything else, because Sun Wukong's got himself. He's good here. Everybody else in there just gets to get the benefit of all of the experience, which is amazing, especially when I'm trying to level up so many rares and so many epics trying to get Lord Fabian. So he is huge. I love him. He's pretty much always going to be my favorite champion. He's probably going to make every single list that I ever make about this, but I adore him, and I love his design too. And we know I like my skinwalkers as well. Our next one on this list is going to be Rio Bonespear. Now, not just because pretty. She's really pretty. She is great because she is she is one of the overall longevity characters that I have. So she is really important for shutting down the enemy and cleansing the team. So she cleanses and heals on the team, and her A2 is so nasty when it comes to just shutting people down. Her A2, and I don't even have it fully booked at the moment, but there will be a lot of damage that she eventually is able to do and less cooldown. But right now, once you have her accuracy built up high, she places stun, HP burn, decrease defense, weaken, decrease attack, and decrease crit rate. She absolutely cripples another opponent. So usually when I'm doing live arena, this I usually go for a champion that I know is a heavy damage dealer, somebody who is going to screw everything up, and she has really high speed. So she's typically my champion that goes first. She goes in and she shuts him down, and it's wonderful. Plus, her A3 is a complete cleanse, removes all debuffs, blocks, and puts a block buff on them, and heals them for 35% of their max HP. So having that combination really makes her great for longevity, especially in dungeons and clan boss. Speaking of longevity, one of my newest favorite champions, and you know I love him, this is Geomancer, and I don't just love him for his angry face. I love him because he is also a champion that creates a lot of longevity. So you see, I have him next on my priority to book up. I have him going as much as I can. So he has an AoE that decreases attack, but his A3 is also an HP burn and a weaken debuff, and it fully depletes the target's turn meter. So shuts him down, and then his own turn meter is filled by the amount that the target loses. So if you pick somebody that's about to go next, depletes their turn meter completely, and then Geomancer either gets to go next or pretty soon after that. So it's really helpful. Then he places an HP burn, which is really important for his A2. If the target is under an HP burn debuff placed by him, it's going to steal all of his buffs instead. And if you can kill the target with this attack and they're under HP burn, then you get to lay your A3 again. So he can just go in a loop like that if you have a weak enough champion. His passive also decreases the amount of damage the entire team takes. He is both a team player and a pretty heavy-hitting, disruptive champion. So he's very important to the game. Absolutely one of the best epics in the game. You just need to have really high accuracy and really high speed for him in order for him to really do his thing. Next on the list is not because he's good, just because he's cute. This is one of my favorite champions that I just got in a Primal Shard. This is Bovos Sharphorn. He's the haunted goat man. And that's literally the only reason he is on this list. I love the occult. I love all the paranormal creepy. So he is just creepy. And I like him. And that's it. He's not really that good of a champion. I don't know if I'm going to be ever upgrading him beyond just having him at the 4 stars. I might ascend him just for giggles and then unlock his passive. He does heal an ally when they're hit with a critical hit, so that's super helpful. So he kind of just messes everybody else up and does some damage, but overall he's not an unbelievably amazing champion, but I still love him, and I love that he's got a little voodoo doll. I love him. So he's just here because he makes me happy. And that's all that matters, because this is my account and I can do what I want. Next on the list is Vizier Ovelis. He is important because he is the first legendary I ever pulled. So not the first legendary I ever had, but my first legendary that I ever got from a shard opening. So he was really important. He is also a really good champion. He is a high damage kind of champion. Crazy powerful, crazy useful. He works a lot with Perfect Veil. At the start of every round, he just starts off with a Perfect Veil buff, so he is unable to be targeted. His A3 also places a Perfect Veil on him for 3 turns if the target that he attacks is under 2 more debuffs. So the idea behind him is to have somebody high in debuffs, or use his A2 first, which places a bunch of debuffs if you have the accuracy. Or if you have Rio Bone Spear and she places a lot of debuffs, then these two would be really helpful in conjunction, because this guy can also, and then he can also increase the duration of debuffs. So he works really well with somebody who places a lot. I used him recently in Siege, and he was super, super helpful. I can't tell you the specifics. I don't remember. It was kind of like I need to get my stuff done kind of quick go through everything moment. He is one visually is super cool, but he's not a catfish. Absolutely a great champion. If you want to check out the champions that I've been talking about today and even get a couple of these champions free for yourself, you need to click the link in the description, scan the QR code that's here on screen. You're going to get a legendary Corrado Fox Hunter immediately once you open your account, so that's great. And then you get Yugo, who is not on this list, but probably should be. She's a healer and a reviver, and I love her. All right, so the next champion is also a free champion that you can just get, which is wild to me. This is Skill of the Drakes. So she is free for once you have done 180 days of logging in. So you can have her within 6 months. She's rated really high on Hell Hades. She is a healer, reviver, and she goes after speed on enemies, which is super important because speed is everything in this game. I also love her design. She's got, I know they say the drakes, but it seems more like a bird than a dragon to me, but I'm still super into her overall design. I'm a little scared of her. She's scary in arena too. I try to avoid her at all costs. So her A3 revives an ally with 50% HP and gets an ally protection buff on them. So that means she's going to take 25 or 50% of the direct damage inflicted on that champion. So she kind of takes the damage for somebody else, for that ally, once they've been revived. So they can't, unless they get hit by a crazy attack, they're going to revive, and then they're not going to die immediately again, which has happened to me and has happened to my son Wukong and drives me nuts. So she's really good for helping with that. Her A2 attacks all enemies twice and places a stun, which we love, and it's very disruptive in arena. And then her A1 also has a fairly decent chance of decreasing speed or the turn meter. So she's also somebody you need to place a lot of accuracy on. All right, next on my list is again a legendary that you can get for free, but only for like a week, for less than a week more. So you need to jump on this, guys. Alice the Wanderer, as you can see, is the highest power champion I have in my entire roster. I don't know why she's free. She is one of the best champions in my roster. I don't understand why she's free. She's way too good to be free, but she is. My favorite thing about her is her A2, which is an AoE, and then it decreases the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 2 turns. I have her built with really high accuracy, so 9 times out of 10, she decreases their cooldown, or I'm sorry, increases the cooldowns, which makes it hard for champions to, fight back. Other than Sun Wukong, Alice is one of the most banned champions that I have when I go into live arena. She does not mess around. And especially now that I have her almost fully booked up, I only need a few more books on her, but I have this fully booked up, so now her damage is way higher than it's ever been. And same thing with her Queens and her A3 Queenslayer, which does a heavy amount of damage on one champion, and if you kill that champion, then she goes after somebody. Then she also targets somebody with the lowest HP. Many, many times I've seen her just kill 2 straight off the bat. I'm afraid of her, but she's great. Next on my list is another mostly for aesthetics, but Dude in the Runic. Also got him. I got him in the same video as I got Bovos, and I think he and Bovos are, I think he might be Bovos in like 80 years once he's dead and turned fossilized, but he's a sentient rock. What? I can't hate a sentient rock. He's so cool. Look at his big glowing blue energy. It's very Avatar. The great thing about him is he is also a tank. Absolute tank. Now you see he's built like a tank. The idea behind him is to build him crazy high on defense and HP so that you can't touch him. He will shield people, and that's based on his max HP, so it's really important to build up his HP high because he's going to shield everybody else as well. He'll bring everybody to taunt him. He also gets a strengthen and a counter attack, so they're forced to attack him. He's all extra strong, and then he's also fighting back with them. My roster is absolutely missing a tank, so he was a very important recent addition to my roster. All right, second to last here, another recent pull. I'm trying to include a lot of my recent champions if you haven't seen any of those videos, but Cornelia, who was on my wish list for forever, my scary little doll. I equate her to Snorlax from Pokemon because her kit is almost entirely based on sleep, which is a weird debuff. However, she turns the sleep debuff into her advantage, and that's something I like a lot. She places its sleep debuff on an ally for that turn. Once the sleep debuff expires or gets removed, they get healed half of their max HP, and their turn meter gets filled by half. However, if the sleep debuff is removed because somebody hit them, like they took damage from an enemy, they are healed 100%, and their turn meter is completely filled, so then they go next. So the nice thing about this is she can put herself to sleep, and she can carry a whole dungeon by herself at a certain point, because if she's the only one that's there, she'll put herself to sleep, somebody hits her, she wakes up full health, full turn meter, goes after them, and so on and so forth. So she can carry herself by alone for a long time. All right, last one on the list is also mostly aesthetic, but also function. Snack is Snack. He's Poison Snack. He's a destroy max HP Snack. He's Snicky Snack. So I don't have a lot of Lizardmen, so Venomage was great for me to get. I like that he puts a lot of poison. I like that he puts a lot of heal reduction. He is more likely to place a decreased defense and a decreased attack if the target is under a poison debuff, which he loves to place, both through his A1 and his A3. And look at him, he's like, yeah. I just love the way he moves. But these are my current 10 favorite champions, no particular order. Of course, I have a lot of other champions. I'm sure everybody's going to see my roster on here and be like, why didn't you mention this person? Why didn't you mention Madame Saris or Apothecary? 'Cause it's my channel. I'm really into these champions right now in this moment, and that's all it is. Not a slight to any other champion, not a slight to what your favorite champions are. I do want to hear what your favorite champions are at this current moment. These are mine, but tell me down in the comments, what are your favorite champions right now? Are you excited about other champions that are coming out? And thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring. Don't forget to scan the QR code or click the link in the description. You promised me, Becky. You promised me you would, Steve. I heard you promise at the beginning. Get Yugo at level 15. Get Corrado Fox Hunter as soon as you open your account. Get Monkey King. Get your Sun Wukong or your Supreme Gallic, and get your Alice. We have very limited time left on all of these items, so you gotta jump in quick. But thank you guys again so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.